come through this way. Not him, bro. Operation room section. Medical structure. It's remained over there. You there, sir? So this used to be a hospital? This used to be the hospital, okay. Look what happened to it. Okay, so this was one of the hospitals we was working out of. About a year ago, this was the operation room section. About 8 months ago, this whole place was collapsed. It's totally unrecognizable. We thought this was one of our safest hospitals because it's buried in a cave. I've worked here, and on a day we was getting 5, 6, 7 airstrikes on top of it. And this hospital was taking it. This is what the regime does. They attack children like this. Coward regime, attacking children like this. Until the Russians decided to improve or make some type of special type of rocket which eventually penetrated and destroyed this place. Remember that video on the time when Khan Sheikhun was hit with the sarin? We had a journalist standing right here talking when a bomb landed on the hospital. This is that room. You remember what footage I'm talking about? There's 3 beds here. This is the location. This is the emergency room. Penetrate through.
In April 2017, the city of Khan Sheikhun was attacked by the Syrian Air Force with chemical weapons. Around 100 people were killed and hundreds injured. Later that year, in September, the Russian Air Force destroyed 3 hospitals in the same locality, rendering them out of service and leaving the civilians without medical facilities. Dr. Shajil Islam is a British doctor who specializes in surgery. He visited Syria in the early years of the revolution and then returned to stay in 2016. He has treated hundreds of airstrike victims and is currently opening a new hospital in southern Idlib province in order to treat victims of a new wave of artillery fire on civilians in the area. This is a daunting feat considering that hospitals in the area are known to be targeted by Russian and Syrian jets.
So right now we're en route to a makeshift hospital we've made in the south of Idlib, north of Hama region. This area right now is being pounded with loads of missiles, rockets, mortars, airstrikes, everything you can think of is hitting these areas. So alhamdulillah, we've made a hospital to treat the injured, and we're just heading up there for a shift change. So I'll be changing over shifts with another doctor now, inshallah.
The new hospital that Dr. Shajil plans to run is located in a cave. Although not impenetrable, it is the safest place available. Due to the intense bombardment of the area, there are many emergency patients. However, he is desperately lacking medical staff willing to work in such a strenuous situation and equipment. Doc, you just showed us the old hospital, which was a cave hospital, which got hit from the top and it nearly collapsed fully. And now, again in the southern countryside of Idlib, you're setting up a new hospital or new medical point, which is again in a cave. Some people might think that this is, you have to be crazy to do something like this again. Why would you do this?
Brother, we have to understand why we came to Syria in the first place. People would say us doctors from the West or us Muhajirin doctors are crazy to come to a war zone where there's bombs landing, where we could have been relaxing comfortably with a very good salary and a very good wage in the West and just living it up with our Ferraris and our big mansions, etc. So I guess the root of us coming here is we're crazy in some people's eyes. But to the contrary, I think those that are staying back when there's a beautiful opportunity here, those that are staying back are crazy. Because ultimately, me as a Muslim, I'm seeking anything that will give me maximum reward in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is my mission in life, to serve the oppressed, to serve the poor. This is me striving in Allah's way to help the oppressed. Yes, you're right, I've been in so many hospitals that have been bombed and destroyed, and I took you to one of the previous hospitals that I was working in that was totally, you saw, in pieces. But our options are very limited in this war zone. We know that the regime and Russia and its allies are actually targeting the hospitals first, targeting the doctors first. We are targets, and we've been targets from the beginning of the conflict. So nothing's changed there really. But our obligation to serve the people is still there. It is fard al-ayn upon us. It is an Islamic obligation upon us to serve the people. So we don't have any second choice about it. We have to do everything in our ability to help the people that are being massacred here. So alhamdulillah, we took whatever precautions we could have, and we've come back in this really dangerous region, like we have been many times before, to come and do our obligation.
Suddenly, we hear a barrage of artillery falling close by, and the doctors and nurses prepare themselves for any patients that may arrive.
السلام عليكم معي يا اخي وين الشباب فقط يلا اخي يلا روح تعال اخي دقيقه بس دقيقه صدر يلا في عمليه يا اخي هون يسار يلا في عمليه طب خلي يلا بارك الله فيك يا اخي يا شباب.
I asked Dr. Shajil how he and the other staff managed to shift from relaxing to saving lives in such a short time when victims are brought in.
Alhamdulillah, we've been in this conflict for a while now, and we've got a lot of experience. I mean, when it comes to trauma and major injuries, we are quite experienced, alhamdulillah. More experienced than a lot of people around the world, because the kind of traumas we've been dealing with. So it's kind of become second nature to us. And I guess with us, because we do this job with a passion, we have a passion, we get an adrenaline drive, and we just automatically kick into operation mode. So we can flip from relaxing mode, and automatically we can flip into operation mode, where we go in there, problem solving mind, look at the patient. So our team are very well experienced. They have a lot of experience in this war, and we are able to do that relatively quickly, alhamdulillah. So there is not a question of us being able to transition. I think what becomes more difficult is when we get fatigued, and this happens a lot, where we're doing operation after operation, patient after patient without sleep. Then it becomes very difficult, and I've found myself almost falling asleep in an operation where my eyes are closing while I'm trying to do an operation.
And at them times it can be very difficult because we don't have enough doctors here. For example, there's only 2 of us surgeons here today. And if we get overwhelmed by surgery today, there's only a certain amount we can do. But right now, alhamdulillah, we have a adrenaline rush kicks in. This is what we do with a passion, and it just automatically, it's automatic. We just do it as we've been doing for many years now in this war zone.
After a few days in the hospital, the doctors have a change of shift and Dr. Shajil returns home. We caught up with him in his office and asked him how he feels knowing that he has helped save countless lives since he settled in Syria.
When I think about the fact that I was able to contribute saving lives here, I feel privileged. I feel privileged that I'm able to make a difference, that Allah has chosen me, and that the skills that I gained throughout my life, now I'm actually implementing it to save some of the most oppressed people in the world right now. So, alhamdulillah, I feel privileged, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts it from me. And I hope that this will be a means of success for me in this world and the hereafter. And ultimately, this is my objective, is to work for the sake of Allah and purely for His sake in helping people. And I hope that Allah accepts it from me and that I attain the ultimate success from it, inshallah, which is in the hereafter.
We trust and we know, inshallah, yeah?
Since we visited Dr. Shajil in his cave hospital, the medical situation has only grown more dire. Russian warplanes have resumed airstrikes on Idlib province, killing and injuring many civilians. The doctor will continue upgrading his hospital in order for it adequately treat victims.